Hello, good evening, everybody. This is Marissa Pinto, and you are tuning in to the Herky League of Extraordinary Women with our special guest, Dr. Samra Sultana. Feel free to send in your questions, queries, compliments, or anything that you'd like to know about our guest in the comments. Before we begin, a little brief and introduction about Dr. Samra. She is someone who believes in the power of education. She wants to break the stereotype that a veiled woman is oppressed and incapable of fulfilling her dreams. She's working to educate the largest minority in India, that is Muslims, with special focus on girls' education. She also works with the All India Muslim Personal Law Board for the empowerment of Muslim women in India. She has received numerous appreciations from various channels, including Doordarshan, Janardhan News, Shubh 24 channel, etc., and is in fact among the winners of Women of Substance the year 2021 in the education category by First Indian News. She raises her voice on various social issues related to women in India and addresses the lack of women in Jaipur. Being a water conservationist, she conducted self sponsored research on addressing water crisis at the Nike Tadi area of Jaipur and has submitted it to various government departments in Rajasthan and is looking forward to resolving them in the coming years. She has attended several national and international conferences and won various national level competitions in research paper presentation, writing, etc. And not that's not it. There's so much more to Dr. Samra. And guess who are the fortunate ones to get to know a little bit more about her? You, me, and everybody who's going to be part of this LinkedIn Live. So a warm welcome to you, Dr. Samra. How are you feeling today?
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for this beautiful introduction, Marissa. And I am very excited, bit nervous. Yes.
Well, it's okay to be nervous, I guess, because that's where all the honest and truthful answers come from, I suppose. But we are eagerly waiting to know about you, your journey. I mean, there's so much accolade and experience under your belt, and yet you only keep adding to it. So, firstly, kudos to that, kudos on that. Please tell us how we got us started on this journey and what keeps that fire burning.
Mm, yes. When I was kid, I always look up to my father. He's my inspiration, and I always wanted to do something what he's doing. And he worked for the betterment of the society and community. He helped people through education, through by giving them food, shelter, and helping them. So I always wanted to be like him. um, I remember when I was kid, I think might be 7, 8 year old, maybe 9 year old me. When I am, there was a mirror placed on the top of our wash basin, and I am at that time I was very little and small, so I put stool in, and I stand up on a stool so that I can see my face. Uh, and I started speaking, and I started talking to myself, believing that 2-3 lakh people are listening, and they can feel my emotions. Although at that age I don't know how much is 2 lakh or 3 lakh numbers. Still, there's the back of my mind, I thought 2-3 lakh is fair enough number. So not less than 2-3 lakh people are listening to me. So I talk to myself, believing that number of people are listening. And I even cried at the age of 9, while talking to myself that how much I love my father, how much I wanted to do what he's doing for the betterment of the society. So uh, uh, you know uh, I'm coming from a family where you know education is important. But if you talk about education um, in a family of Sufis, or family of alims or maulanas, it is a stereotype still that they don't educate their girls, and they prefer boy rather than girl to be educated. So but but my father, such a nice person. He always um, grow us like a princess, and he always taught us that, if you do good, good will come to you, no matter who you are, no matter you are a girl or a boy. And so this motivation, and do something for the betterment of the society, through education. This motivation came from my father, because I see him doing all his life, helping others, and helping the society and nation. And
Well,
sorry.
yes, please go ahead.
In 2021 I got married, just 1 month before corona. No, 2020, so just 1 month before corona. So I don't know what life will take me in the future. But my parents, my mother-in-law, father-in-law, and my husband, his name is Muhammad Shoaib. He really helped me to grow as a person. And he is such a nice person that he always put me first. He always try to, whenever he's there with me, we are working together. Whenever he's there with me, he have got an aura, and he makes me a better person. So you know my father, my husband, these all are and my ammi Jan, my mother-in-law, and even my family members, they are the they are the motivating force. They keeps my fire alive, and they make me do whatever I'm doing right now.
Well, that is very lovely to know that you have a good role model to a very good support system, because I think that is also very important. But the fact that a 9-year old you stood in front of a mirror believing that she's addressing and talking to 2 lakh audience, that I
Yes,
think you manifested it as a child and probably living the dream today. I think that's something that we all need to do. Believe it, that we are talking with confidence and with power, and that someone there will listen. And I think exactly that's what's happened, and that's where it's got to you today. So it's very lovely that you did walk us through what your journey of it, and also your upbringing, and the reason how it has shaped for you to be the person you are today. But in this diverse experience and in this journey that you've been on, you also moved from education to water conservation, right? How did this happen? What led you to water conservation, and what does your work endeavor?
yes. Actually, in 2017, um, we visited a place called Nike 30. It's you can say a suburb of Jaipur, and around 50,000 people live there. And we opened a school there, and I was talking to a girl. She is, I think, a 6 or 7 year old girl. And I looked when I was talking to her, I noticed the color of her hair is different, and the color of her teeth is also different from others. Then I talked to other children also, and I noticed the same thing. So I thought there is something wrong here. So I consult a team of doctors. I We organize a medical camp by the help of Dr. Abdullah Zafar and his team. Um, we organizes a medical camp there. And then the reports showing that due to the contaminated water, the children are having a lot of diseases. And they may cause this water, if they use it for a long, they may cause diseases like cancer. So I thought I have to do something for them. So I started collecting samples, and get it tested in a government laboratory. So to prove the authenticity of the reports. So I does that. And it took me 7-8 months to collect the samples. And because I am not a science student, I'm a management student, and doing that type of research work is not an easy task for me. For others it may be very easy, but for me, I'm a management student, so it is very difficult for me. I took a lot of help. When I completed that report, I submitted to a lot of government. I think every government department, to the chief minister and everyone out there. But today I'm announcing this for the very first time, that you know uh, we really did a lot of hard work, and the government has approved he saw our research, and they approved the work what we have done. And now the work is in progress to supply supply the good water to them. And you know they when I go there and talk to people, they're like, there were a lot of leaders, there were a lot of people come and talk to us, but nobody put this on writing, that this is the problem, and you have to resolve this problem. So they were like, it gives you joy and pleasure when you do something with all your heart and soul. And I was expecting that maybe after 5 years or 6 years, someone in the system may see my file and approve it. But it gives me joy and pleasure that whatever hard work we have put in, it got worth it. And it is really nice to see that people are getting good water there.
Well, congratulations on that. There's so much you're doing. I mean, firstly, like you said, you're not a science student, but you've taken the initiative. I think a lot of people do take initiative, but the taking the initiative is easy, but keeping going at it, to be at it and to keep continuing at it to reach to the finish line is the difficult part. And I think what you're doing is absolutely commendable. And, I think everybody should like applaud for it. So I'm like,
Thank you so
congratulations
much.
on that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, but you mentioned that you saw this little girl. That brings me to the next question. In your experience so far in your journey, you've also been interacting and talking to so many girls with respect to education. Education is what brought you together to them, right? So, what do you see when you begin, and then as the outcome of this entire journey, the process, the conversation with girls and education being the main
Yes.
reason?
Yes, I remember in 2010, when I was also a student. I There's this girl. She came up to me and I asked her. She was I think a topper of arts from our school, and I asked her, well, "What are you doing? You are in which college?" And so she said, if you open a college for us, we will surely, I would love to study further. Otherwise our parents doesn't allow us to go for the higher studies. That gives me pain and an agony, that but still, we are living in a 21st century. Still there are a lot of girls who, education is not privilege, it's our right. So there are a lot of girls who are not getting educated. So we try to convince the parents of these young girls and boys, especially girls. Without education, life is nothing. Without education, please educate your girl. It is okay if they cover their head, it is okay if they cover their face, if it is okay, whatever they want, whatever they choose to wear, let them wear. But do not deprive them from getting educated. So we counsel a lot of parents, a lot of girls. And I can say that there's a wind of education in our area, that I can see that when we opened school, I think 25 years ago, my father opened a school here. At that time, we see hardly any girl getting educated. Now, I can say that 95% of the girl. more than 95% of the girls, they are going to school and colleges, and they make their parents proud, their family proud. They are coming to us and saying, हमारी बेटी हमें उनसे ज्यादा फक्र महसूस कराती है जितने हमारे शायद बच्चे भी नहीं कराते. So and I don't believe in girl education only. Of course, we have to educate our young boys also. We have to educate them also. But at that time, we there was a need of girl education, so we started this mission to educate every single girl. And the literacy rate amongst Muslim as the lowest amongst all the caste. Even lowest even scheduled caste and scheduled tribes are uh, better than the Muslims in India. So we have to, we cannot build a strong nation without education or without uplifting the minorities of our nation. So you know I, I have written a few lines in it is in Urdu. So I want to share those lines with you, that
Please. Yeah.
मेरी हिम्मत को ना तुम आंकना मेरे नकाब से. नकाब is this ninja. मेरा इकबाल है बुलंद मेरे नकाब में. मेरी सोच है बुलंद और हौसला जवां, फिर क्यों अजीब अंदाज से मुझे देखता इंसान. हाँ मानती हूँ मेरी पहचान है अलग, पर हूँ तो मैं इंसान या कोई शय हूँ मैं अलग. So we have to normalize this thing, that a girl with an extra piece of cloth on the head, or maybe on her face, she is unable to do anything. So we give this motivation to our girls that it is okay what you wear, but it is not okay to not get educated. This is what we did since last so many years. Yeah.
I think what you said, no, that it's important for little girls to hear this, to know this, because there has to be somebody who tells them this. If they don't see it happening around them, there need to be somebody who tells them this. And you're doing that job, and think your team is doing that job, and that's very beautifully put. I really love the Urdu lines that you said. You know, to all our viewers who might have just tuned in, I am Marissa and I'm in conversation with Dr. Samra Sultana in our Herky series, the Herky League of Extraordinary Women. So feel free to send in your questions, queries, or if there's something you'd like to know, please put them in the chat and we'll have them answered closer to the end of this session. While we're on this topic, there is a question that's come in from Merlin Kumban. Firstly, I also see that Merlin has said that so proud of you and very happy to have you here. Merlin's question is, when you educate a woman, you educate a family, a society. What do you think about it?
Yes, thank you, Merlin. Yes, I totally believe that when you educate a girl, you educate. When you educate a boy, you educate a boy. But when you educate a girl, you educate a family. So I totally agree, and I think that the change what we have, what we have brought in is just because we focus on girl education, because they are the flag bearer of the not the family but the society. They if you educate them, you do not only educate them, but you educate the they are the wind of change, I think. If a man is illiterate and a woman is literate, she is capable of building a strong relation and building a strong and raise their children's and society in a strong way. If a girl is illiterate and a boy is literate, then I don't think so he will be able to educate the whole family or the society. So it is very important for our girls to be educated. And I will tell you, today I'm sitting here, whatever I'm speaking, I'm confident enough, is just because of my mother. because she understands the importance of education. And when I was 4 years old, she sent me to Aligarh and for the education at the age of 4. So she understands the importance of education when I was 4 year old. So that is why I'm here. The PhD, I think that is something which people think that's the end of your education journey. But my mother asked me, okay, you have done your PhD? I said yes. I proudly said that, yeah, I have completed my PhD. So she said, what next? I was like, Ammi, I have completed my PhD. I mean, like, what next? Come on, give me some time to think. She said, yes, PhD, it's good, but education is a continuous process. You cannot, so, this importance, my father is my inspiration, but I am educated is just because of my mother, because she understands the importance of education. So um, yeah, girl
I think that
education.
is brilliant. I mean, definitely, like I said, I was looking at the comments and someone says when you educate a girl, you educate a nation, and there is the power, the muscle there that's going, saying that yes, this is how it is, and it is true. I think a great deal of responsibility does fall on the woman by default to look after, to take care, and in the early years to make the decisions for your children. And I think your mom has been a constant supporter and a cheerleader for you, telling that education never stops, and it's so true. Even at this stage, right now, talking to you, I am learning so many things just by hearing you, like just by listening, right? And I think this is truly inspirational. While we are on that note, I do want to understand that somebody who probably is not as bold and courageous or outspoken as you are, how can somebody who want to be advocates for education for the girl child or for anyone around, how do you approach this and how do you strike a conversation that, hey, you know what, education is everybody's right and let your child study?
Can you just repeat your question?
Yeah, what
I
I'm
forgot.
saying is how can somebody be advocates for education to if they are not very outspoken and not too
Okay.
bold,
Okay,
right? Yeah.
yes, of course they have to educate themselves, before if I am a basic normal graduate and talking about education and talking about how education is important for us, so that hardly make any sense, because first, charity begins at home, somebody rightly said that. So first you have to educate yourself. You don't have to be very outspoken. Your skills, your qualities, your the way you speak, the way you put your points, will tell the world that yes, you are educated. And if education shapes a person the way you are, I really want to be educated. So if you want to advocate for the education, so first and if you're not very outspoken, so you have to educate yourself first. You'll have to educate you'll have to polish your own skills after that, and build a personality where people want to if they feel like, if the final result of education is this, then I really want to be educated. So education doesn't one more thing I want to add here: education never taught you to be arrogant, or education never ever taught you to be in an attitude or to be arrogant. What I learned from my life, that the just somebody said that कि जिस पेड़ में जितना फल होता है वो उतना झुका हुआ होता है. So you have to be humble, and that shows that how educated you are.
There is this question which is a little bit interesting, intriguing, in fact. There are many women who are educated and but they do end up taking household responsibility and making that a priority. What do you have to say to them?
Education doesn't mean that you'll have to go out and do work what and work, 9 to 5 job. Education is for your personal satisfaction, and for the polish, education polishes your skills. If someone is educated and choose to do the homely work, I personally don't have any problem in that. If somebody forcing, anything which is forced is not correct. So if you are doing it by your heart and soul, and if you, and I saw a lot of, a lot of people, and I saw a lot of, there's this girl who is a gold medalist. She took, I think, 7 years of a break, because she want to raise her, and she do all homely work because she want to raise the her kids first, and then later on she want to move on in, in another world. So if somebody is educated and doing homely work, that's totally fine. If that is her choice, hardly matters.
And I think women who are educated and make home a responsibility, they are putting all their energy, their learning into building
Yeah.
strong men and women in their kids, right? And in the world we live today, I think we have a lot of literates and very few educated people. So I think that's another discussion and debate for another day. But you have been associated with the Haki Club, the Haki tribe, for a while now. What's it like being for you, being a part of this club?
uh, you know mm, uh, Whenever this was whenever this hockey club came in my mind, I would, first of all, I would like to thank Rubina. Like, because of her, I'm here. Like, without her support and her endless guidance, I wouldn't be able to, be a part of this club. And being a part of this club give me a different type of exposure. I was all surrounded by my own people. By my by my community people. So this club gives me a different type of exposure, and different type of confidence. And I really want to appreciate this network and this club, who are supporting other, women who are supporting other women to rise in their career and in their life. And if I am capable of doing anything for this club, I would love to do that. And I would like to thank Neha also for this wonderful opportunity. And this is altogether a very different dynamic, and very very soothing experience with hockey.
Oh, that's very sweet of you to say, and little shout out to Rubina as well. But like I said, I think for all those of you who are listening, if you're somebody with 8+ years of experience, feel free to go check out the Hockey Club. The link is in the comments. You can always go check it out, and if you want to know more, you can also schedule a call for the same, right? And I think what you said, Samra, that this gave you a different perspective and window. I think what with this, I feel like you're just making more and more allies to the cause that you feel so strongly and passionate about. And I think that's very beautiful and inspiring. And it is, how do you say it? It's you're creating this ripple effect of awareness for all of us and helping us be part of it in ways that we also can. Right.
Thank
So thank you so much for that. Now, asking a couple of questions just to understand the fun side of Samra. What is the one quirky thing about your style of leadership?
Okay, um, if I'll answer in one line, then I believe in heart counts rather than head counts. So that's
Okay.
the quirky thing about my, you can say that, my leadership.
This
Yeah.
this is the first time I'm listening to something like heart counts and not head counts.
I always believe that, if somebody is working with me, and if he and she is having any problem or anything, I try my level best to help them out. If personally as well as professionally, I try to help them. And I really believe in heart counts, and not the head counts. Yes.
Well, surely you're winning a lot of hearts today, and you won a lot many hearts, and you're on the journey of winning more hearts because we need all the hearts that we can get for the cause that you have set foot and the journey that you're in. What books would you recommend to all the men and women who are watching? Some recommendations, that some books that you've read along the journey and which are your go-to.
Okay, recently this book is in Urdu, but it may launch they may launch the English version of this. It's the Hayat wa Khidma. That means, it is the journey of my great grandfather. What he contributed to the society. So I was just reading that book. 50 years ago, 60 years ago, what he was thinking in his mind, to bring the wind of change through education. So I'm getting in I am getting inspiration from that book. If you want that book, I will send it to you. For sure. And right now, I will recommend that book. And because it is important to understand what your parents journey, and what your great grandfathers and your grandfathers journey, what they have been through, what they were thinking. And after reading that, there's this spark in your heart that I also want to carry forward that legacy of goodness, and spreading that happiness and goodness in this world, and make this world a better person, a better place to live in. So that's what I'm reading nowadays.
Wow, that is interesting and nice to know. I think you've given us something to go back and search and probably place an order for. But thank you so much. I was just, while you're talking, I was also going through the comments, and there's a lot of love, appreciation pouring in for you. Feza says her leadership style is superb. The way she guides us, I think no one can do it. I'm very proud to say that she's a leader and she's my mentor. Then we also have Vinu, who says, "Great vision, Samra. Wishing more power that you achieve it." Faiza Ali saying, "Truly said, society needs education. Girl children need education." And a lot of love and appreciation pouring in, which I would love for you to go check out later in the comments.
For sure.
And for all of you who tuned in and listened to us so patiently for the last half an hour, thank you so much. If you do have any questions, there's something that you'd like to know from Samra, feel free to drop it in the comments. And probably sometime later, you will see that there's a reply written maybe by Samra herself. This has been great. Thank you so much, Samra, for taking the time out to do this with us, for sharing your cause with us, and for educating us as well. Thank you for being here. Thank you for gracing our extraordinary League of Women at the Hockey Club. And for all those of you who are watching, if you want to be a part of this club and want to know more about the club, there is a link right now in the chat for the Hockey Club. Please do go check it out. You want to know more about what happens inside the club, leave questions in the comments, and our team will have them answered for you later. Everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Marissa, and this is Samra. We'll see you again some next week with another extraordinary woman, another conversation for another evening. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.